All right, guys. Thanks for tuning into this video. I've got Spencer Owen from the RC2014 Z80 project here with me today, and we're going to ask him some questions. This is the project, by the way, that we just finished. Really awesome project. I highly recommend you go to his website, z80kits.com, and pick one up. So Spencer, kind of introduce yourself to the audience.
Yeah, so my name is Spencer, as you mentioned. I make the RC2014 range of kits. I've been selling these online for about 9 years now, and yeah, they're a wonderful, great way to get into retro computing.
They absolutely are. I had a blast putting mine together. I don't think I've released the video yet, but yeah, I've got it all working and it's a lot of fun to play with. So
Excellent. Yeah,
yeah,
hearing that it's a working one always fills my heart with joy. I love to know that.
yeah, it's definitely a cool kit. So why did you do the RC 2014 project? Kind of what inspired you, or what's your background?
Oh, it was all just a series of coincidences, if I'm honest. I never intended to go down the route of selling computer kits. My background is in IT.
Okay.
I'm a network admin, server admin, various jobs in that kind of field.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but then one day, I sort of asked myself the question: do I know how to build a computer? It's like, well, yeah, of course I do. You buy a motherboard, you plug in the hard drive, plug in the graphics card.
Right.
That's how. But then I started to wonder: can I really build a computer? Yeah, from the chips, do I understand it at a low enough level? So that
Right.
that was my inspiration for me to want to learn to understand it at,
Right.
at, at, at a very, very low level there.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I absolutely understand. Was there a reason that you chose the Z80? I think at least when I was younger, the Z80 was pretty popular and the 6502 as well. What made you choose that processor?
Well, the simple reason is that when I grew up as a kid, I had a Sinclair ZX Spectrum, which
Yes.
was, well, I'll say Z80 base, but you can translate to Z80 if you want.
Right,
But
exactly.
yeah, the Z80 was a processor in that. Um, so when it came to seeing if I could build a computer, what I actually intended to do initially was build a replica of the Sinclair ZX80, because
Right.
that was a much simpler machine, only a few passive components on there, as well as ROM, RAM, and CPU. So that's what I intended to actually build.
Right.
What I ended up with was something quite different. I ended up with this little breadboard machine that ran Microsoft Basic.
Right, right. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Um, well, I'll get to that question in just a little while. So what were some of the biggest challenges that you faced?
I'll be honest. The challenge is always knowledge,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
but and almost all of those can be solved with time. Because
Right.
there was a lot of things at the start that I didn't even know that I didn't know.
Right.
But yeah, once you've been doing it for a while, you read enough blogs, you talk to enough people, you watch enough videos,
Right.
um, then there's little ideas coming. It's like, oh, why do people keep saying CPM? What is CPM? Or what do I need to learn about this? And
Right.
so
Right.
so things that I didn't know that I needed to know to start with.
Right.
Yeah, after a few months, it's like, oh, I should go down this route. I should look at that. I should understand
Right.
this more. And so yeah, I think fixing things with time and is
Yeah.
the easiest way.
Yeah, absolutely. So you obviously had access to the internet, so that probably helped that learning process a lot, I'm guessing.
Absolutely, yes,
Yeah.
yes, and so I should give a lot of thanks and support and a shout out to Grant Searle. So Grant Searle was the guy. Well, is the guy that's got a website with some very simple Z80 designs on it.
Okay.
He also has a design for a replica ZX80, so that's how I came
Okay.
across his site. Um,
Okay.
so it is through understanding what he's got on there and all the breadboard machines, that was absolutely the shoulders of giants that I
Yeah,
built on top
yeah.
of.
Okay, awesome. Well, I'll definitely include his link, obviously, as well as your link in the description section. So when you started off, you were breadboarding this, right? This was going on a breadboard and you were trying to figure it all out, I'm guessing.
Yeah, yeah. All it was a computer for me that I wanted to see if I could build it. So yeah, it was just on breadboard. There was this whole messy lot of wires, um, but it worked. Although
Yeah,
sometimes, yeah, if you move it around too much, it doesn't work.
right.
But yeah,
Yeah,
pat all the wires down. Hey, it
right.
works again. So yeah, that
Uh,
was the first iteration of it. That
So
was
how did you
back in.
feel when you finally got it to come up and you actually had a serial interface? How did that make you
I,
feel?
I was absolutely elated. I mean, I couldn't believe that this thing made out of little chips and wires could actually
I
talk to me.
know.
It could run code and display stuff. So yeah,
I know, it's
it was
amazing. I mean, you
yeah.
designed the kit and you should see me. It'll be in the video. When I finally get it powered up and I hook it up and I see, basic come up, it's just, man, it takes me back. And I never, well, in high school, I built a Z80 also. I was really lucky. I had this electronics program in high school. But man, just feeling that again today, and turning that on and seeing it work is just it's amazing. Definitely very
Yeah, so
cool.
I've heard very similar stories from a lot of people, and I just love the fact that yeah, okay, I've sold a kit. Yeah, that's great. I've got a bit of money from it, but hearing them come back to me a while later and saying it worked, I've got to go in and this happened,
Yeah.
and yeah, the excitement is that is absolutely worth it. Yeah,
I've even ordered your CPM kit because I kind of wanted to continue with it and play around with it. So I might actually do that as a video series as well. I haven't decided yet. I'm kind of wanting some feedback from the viewers. So let me know if you guys want to do the CPM kit. But I'm going to do it on my own, even if I don't video it. But yeah, very cool stuff.
yeah, cool. Thank you. Yeah.
Absolutely. So what do you think was like the most complicated part to do in the in your RC 2014?
Oh, so the yeah, well, one of the very early things that I decided I needed to do was to get it off of breadboard and onto PCBs. Um,
Right,
because of the slightly fragile nature of it, I realised, yeah, got to go down the route of having it on a circuit board.
right,
I'd,
right.
I'd sort of badly designed one little board before, so I thought, well, I've got software and yeah, I could learn that. But there was yeah, so there still is a retro challenge every year.
Oh, okay.
It was an online thing on Twitter, whereby for a particular month you've got to challenge yourself to do something.
Okay.
Be it software, be it hardware, be it archiving of old computer books, be it
Right.
cleaning your collection or whatever. So back in 2014, I thought, well, I'll challenge myself. Can I convert this breadboard machine
Right.
into a printed circuit boards based machine? So that was the part. Yeah, well, yeah. So the name RC2014 comes from the Retro Challenge
Right. Okay.
2014 because that was the hashtag on Twitter.
Okay. That makes
Um,
sense.
so that was where it all came from. But learning KiCad to get to that stage of being able to design the boards,
Right.
get those sent off. There's quite a steep learning curve in that.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, I've used KiCad. I love KiCad. It works great. But yes, I've even ordered boards and gotten them and had mistakes in them. So yeah, that's definitely it's a learning curve, but it's certainly worth it. KiCad is
Yes,
amazing. We're so lucky to have all of these great tools available in this day and age that are open source basically. And the KiCad project is one that I absolutely love.
yes. I mean, yeah. Although in theory everything about the RC 2014 would have been possible 40 years ago,
Right.
I don't think it would have done because yeah, the tools like KiCad
Right.
make it so much easier. Cheap PCBs from China make it so much easier. Being able to
Absolutely.
go on to Mouse or RS
Yeah.
or Farnell or wherever they are in the world and get parts. Yeah, all of
Right.
that is so much easier than what it would have been
It is. It
decades
makes
ago.
it makes like these grassroots efforts or cottage shack industries available. When I was in high school, I worked for this company and we designed products for the Atari computer line, the Atari
Okay.
800, 400. And I remember those. We didn't have tools like this available. So one of the engineers would design this, and then we'd have to ship it off and have a company do masks and all this other stuff, and then get it actually built. And every time, of course, we come back and there'd have to be a jumper put between this, and I'd have to cut off this trace or whatever because there was always something. And now that that loop that design it, get it back, and check it, and get another one if you need and fix it. It's so fast, and to be honest, it's pretty cheap to get a lot of the PCB boards made up as well. You use a lot of Chinese options as well. So anyway, yeah,
Yeah.
that's definitely helpful. So one of the things I wanted to ask you about when I was putting it together was the serial IO PCB. I noticed that has a lot of ports, actually. It seems to be exposed. Did you do that basically to limit part count? How did you decide to do it that way?
So to be honest, that was actually taken from Grant Searle's original
Oh, okay.
design there. Because it is a very simple Z80 machine, it doesn't need to have hundreds and hundreds of well, yeah,
Right, right,
a maximum of 255
right,
ports we can
right,
have. But yeah, because it's a very simple thing, yeah, you might only need a few. So the fact that was hogging, I think it's a quarter of the
right.
port
Yeah,
range.
yeah.
It wasn't a big issue. It's becoming a bigger issue because more and more people are designing boards to go on it. You
Right,
can have
to
this
go
board
into
or
it.
that
Yeah.
board and expand it. So we are getting a lot more. Um, we are getting a lot more specific with the actual ports that we're
Right.
using now.
Yeah.
Um, whereas
I saw on your site that you had a couple different kinds of serial boards. Can you kind of just discuss those real quick? What are they, or how are they different?
yeah, so well, the other option for the serial board is the Zilog SiO2 board.
Okay.
So that's a dual serial. So there's two ports on it,
Okay.
which is handy if, for example, you want to run a serial console on one port and also drive a printer through the
Right.
other.
Right. Yeah.
Um, Now those chips, they are a hell of a lot more expensive than what the
Right.
68B. Yeah.
Um, so yeah, so you've kind of built this community around it. As I searched on your name and I found the Z80 project and everything, there's this whole community. There's also like a Google Groups forum, I think, as well. Can you kind of explain how that works, or what you've created there?
Yeah, so that sort of came about by accident, and I was yeah kind of badgered into it because the yeah my intention wasn't to sell computer kits originally, but because I'd got my own circuit boards, because they came from China, I got some spare ones. I thought I could sell those on Tindy, just
Right.
share those with whoever wants one.
Right.
But then of
Right.
course the people that buy them, they're asking me questions that other people that bought them also asking the same questions, and
Right.
then they wanted to talk to each other. Yeah, can you let me know who's solved this problem? Um, and yeah, because they was asking for a way to talk to each other, it's like, well, I've used Google Groups before. I can set that
Right.
up. So that is, yeah, it is completely open for anyone to read. Yeah, there's years worth of knowledge in there, so
Yeah.
it's all
Yeah.
open for people to read. Um, you do have to apply to be able to post to it. Yeah,
Okay.
just to stop anyone spamming.
Sure.
But
Of course.
yeah,
Yeah.
when you go to join, just put something in there that you've got an RC2014 or
Right.
whatever.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a very thriving community. There's a lot of people way smarter than me in there. There's newbies asking what is essentially really basic questions, but people help
Yeah.
out. People take a lot of the work off of my shoulders because other
Right.
people can help people get up and running, which is
Yeah, yeah, that
wonderful.
makes perfectly good sense. So that's in the Google group. Do you guys have anything on Facebook or anything, or Twitter? You mentioned, the retro challenge on Twitter. Is there anything else that the viewers should know about?
Yeah, so I was on Twitter a heavy user of Twitter, which to be honest is probably quite responsible for the spread of the RC 2014.
Okay.
Um, got to be honest, since it was taken over and rebranded, I've got a lot less interest and motivation with Twitter.
Yeah, yeah,
However, on Mastodon,
yeah.
so
That's fun.
If you search for RC2014 on Mastodon, you will find me very, very
Okay.
quickly on there.
All right.
So
Awesome.
that is now the go-to thing.
Yeah.
I've got a newsletter which I send out every month as well. Around about once a month ish.
Okay.
So there's a newsletter with updates and
How do
whatever shows.
how do people subscribe to that? I'm sorry. How do people subscribe to that?
On the RC2014 website, at the bottom, there's a link there to say join the newsletter
Okay.
or subscribe to the newsletter.
Okay. Yeah,
So
I
yeah,
need to get added to it. So I'm definitely going to add myself to it.
yeah,
So,
because so with this month's newsletter, there is actually a link to one of your videos in there. So
woo,
yeah,
all
we'll at least
right.
send you a copy of that anyway.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Um, so there's all these people around this RC 2014, and there's all sorts of cool kits. And so what are some of the more interesting things you've seen, or maybe you've created with it, or you've seen other people use it for and create with it?
Well, one of the things which absolutely blew me away. I went well, so last year I made a limited edition RC2014 Z Pride, that Z
Hmm.
Pro Pride, which is in the Pride colours for
Oh
June.
yeah. Okay.
Um, Now, when I went to a computer festival down in Cambridge last year, um, I'm there exhibiting all of my stuff. That's what I do. And there was someone else there who brought along a Tektronix 4006 video, a CRT storage display.
Okay.
They are amazing things. They're from the 80s, but they've got fantastic definition. But they work through SVG files. It's a vector display.
Okay.
Amazing bit of technology. And he was using my kit to drive that.
That's
And
cool.
honestly, the images coming out of this thing, considering the age of the monitor, it is way better than anything that you would have possibly seen back in the
Very,
day.
very cool. I saw something on it might have been Twitter. I saw something about somebody had set up like they were having it play music, or maybe it was a MIDI project where they had interfaced it with a keyboard. I don't know if you were aware of that, but some really cool projects.
Yeah, I know there are quite a few different sound modules out there, and the fact
Okay.
that there was music written for those kind of machines back in the day, which can
Right.
now be played back on mine. But yeah, there are other people making their own music through
Right,
it as
right.
well, which is awesome.
So when I looked, I found the Snake ROM, which I installed
Oh
and
yes,
on yeah, so that and it worked great. What else? I found Tiny Basic Plus, which is an enhanced version. Of course, the SCM and the Microsoft Basic. And I started playing around with there's an online assembler, like a web-based assembler for Z80.
right.
I haven't played with it much. I went to the site and kind of looked around to see what it could do, and it could actually assemble and give you the hex file. But yeah, I haven't gotten too much into the development side. I thought it would be fun to design a board, and at first I was like, "Oh, I'm going to get this on the internet." But then I went to your site and saw you already have something. I think it's based on the ESP8266,
Right.
Wi-Fi
Yeah.
module. So you already solved that problem, which is pretty cool. I
Yeah.
think making it into like a weather display or something, especially with maybe, a green, almost like a green monitor kind of look to it would be kind of neat, where you just get this text about the weather, and make it look really retro. But anyway,
Yeah.
this is about
So
me.
uh, with the RP 2040 VGA display module that I sell, there is a mode on that, so you can set it to be a green screen monitor or an
Oh,
amber
okay,
screen
cool.
monitor,
Well, I
which
might be
looks
hitting
looks
that
really
up here
nice.
real soon. I think that's awesome. So what are your plans for the future? What do you want to do with your RC 2014 project? How are you going to move
So
forward?
so one of the things I've been doing is yeah, well, so the ROM WBW software is a fantastic modern implementation of CPM, but it is optimized for the Z80 uh, rather than the 8085.
Right, right.
So it's a lot more efficient, um, and Wayne Wathen, who is behind that, has built in enhancements for things like a front panel display.
Okay.
So there are, I'm trying to get a few more modules out there. Let me just grab one. So,
Oh yeah, that's cool.
I mean, something like this. I mean, it's so inside it's got an RC2014 Z
Yeah.
Pro. Um,
Almost
but
looks
yeah,
like a mini Altair almost, it's like, yeah.
but the toggle switch is set how it boots up and stuff like that. So that's well, the toggle switch side of it is now available, but the whole front
Right.
panel to convert one of these existing blue boxes.
Yeah.
So I'll be doing the base to mount it and
Nice.
a rear panel as well. So yeah, things like that are really cool.
Yeah, that's definitely
Um,
cool.
but I've also got a couple of ideas around sound modules as well. So there's a couple of things that I want to get worked out. Um, I do. Yeah. Although I thoroughly enjoy the hardware side of things,
Mhm.
the software side I'm not quite as skillful as what I should be.
Gotcha.
So there are some things which are taking a little bit longer, but yeah, there's a couple of sound card ideas that I want to get out later this
Sure.
year.
You're just being humble, but that's very thoughtful of you. I'm sure you're a whiz at 80, a Z80 assembly language.
You haven't seen my code, obviously, have you?
Well, are you thinking about any other future retro programming projects? Have you thought of like the 6502 or any other? Are you really focused on what you've got right now?
I would prefer to be the master of one than a jack of all trades.
Sure.
So
Yeah, I understand.
although I'm pretty sure if I wanted to, I could build a 6502 board. I could build something based on
Sure.
probably a
Yeah,
68,000. I could build it, but I don't feel that I've got enough time to go deep enough into it and
I
give it
understand.
enough
Yeah,
passion that
I understand.
without without letting things fall elsewhere.
Oh, absolutely. So tell me, Spencer, what does a typical day in Spencer's life look like with this RC 2014 project?
Oh, so most days start with checking emails and see what orders have come in overnight. So that then I know what the day has in store for me. But yeah, essentially most mornings after I've called up with the admin, there's normally a bunch of orders to be packed, which I need to get up to the post office. Um,
Sure.
Ideally, I send things out the same day. That's what I try and aim to do. Um, days when there's a few less orders come in are great because I can then either work on developing new stuff or kitting up a few more
Sure.
kits in advance so they're ready to go. Uh, but it really depends on how busy the orders are. Um, there are some days when it's absolutely crazy. There's sometimes 10, 11 o'clock on a Sunday night, I'm still there packing orders.
Right,
Um,
right.
but then other weeks it's nice and quiet and
Nice and quiet. You get
it's
some
like, oh,
time to play
it's
around with stuff. Exactly. I
yeah,
understand.
yeah.
So let's say that we have a viewer who's wanting to really get into this. Maybe they want to create their own retro computer kit. What would your recommendations be for them?
Uh, do whatever makes you happy.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
if you're
It's a good answer.
if you're a fan of a 6502, well,
Yep.
start with a 6502.
Yeah.
Tinker about with it.
Yep.
Do you will find there are some things which will push you in one direction. Yeah, I
Right.
want to learn more about this, or how can I get it to do so and so. So yeah, just follow your passions. Do what you enjoy.
Yeah, I like
Um,
that. Yeah.
I've spoken to a few people that say, well, I want to start a company and I want to have a product and I want to make, get a marketing team to decide what.
Right.
It's like, yeah, if you're going to do that, it
Yeah.
doesn't have any heart to it. I don't think
Yeah.
that's how you
Got to
can
be
have.
grassroots. You got to like just start. You got to do it. If you're going to go think it through too much, then you're never going to get to it.
That's
Yep.
it. Yes, I mean, yeah. Go back to your question about how the communities come about. I think that's come about because I am very much part of that community.
Right.
Um, yeah, if you just want to be a business owner that sees people as a commodity or whatever,
Right.
you aren't going to nurture that
Right. That's right.
same
Yeah,
community.
it's all grassroots. I mean, people can tell. People can tell, are you in this because you love this, or are you in this because you're after the mighty dollar? And people can see that Z80 Kits is about the love of these Z80 classic computers. It's obvious.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah.
So let's see. What are your thoughts on the resurgence of all this interest in retro computing and the vintage technology?
I do wonder how much I'm a part of it, or I do wonder how much my kits have maybe inspired other people
Yeah,
as
I
part of
think
this resurgence.
they've done a lot more than you even realize. I mean, you know, nostalgia can be a really good thing. And when I thought of building it for myself, it was very nostalgic. It brought me back. It made me smile. It was a great project. I mean, there's nothing wrong with vintage stuff. And now, as the older we get, we see this whole portion of the population where they finally have some money, you know, because they're working, and then they get to go back
Absolutely.
and buy some of these toys that they didn't get when they were kids. I think it's funny, and
Yeah,
I'm all for it.
yeah. There is definitely a lot of people trying to tick the things off their bucket list that they couldn't do
Exactly.
when they was a teenager,
Yeah.
or with some other people, they're wanting to relive their
Yes, their
younger
youth.
days,
Yeah.
and redo what they done 20, 30, 40 years ago.
Right,
So
right.
there is an element of that, but yeah, it's I think it's also a perfect storm of the technology being cheap enough and people of our generation getting to a point where we can afford to
Right.
spend a bit of money on our hobbies, and
That's
yeah,
right.
we've maybe got the time to enjoy ourselves and make the most of it.
So has the RC 2014, has any of your stuff been used like for education, for STEM, you know, science, technology? I don't know if you call it that in the UK or not, but it's this whole, you know, engineering,
Yeah.
mathematics thing. Has it been involved with anything like that yet?
Um, yeah, yeah, I know a couple of people have tried to push that into schools and stuff. Um, I'll be honest, I don't think that's the right place where that goes.
Yeah.
Um, you know,
That's probably where the Raspberry Pi fits in more. I've seen the Raspberry Pi getting pushed for a lot of that because they're not
yeah,
necessarily they can build things very quickly with that. You know, there's a lot of kits, and this is probably a lot lower level depending on the age group, I'm thinking.
yeah, that's it. I mean, kids should be using Raspberry Pis. But yeah, they should be learning Scratch and Python and
Yeah.
moving on up that way. If you're a kid that is particularly interested in old computers, if you really want to understand how the address bus and the data bus works and all the rest of
Right.
it, absolutely the RC 2014 is for
Right.
you. But
Yeah.
I think that if you was to push the RC 2014 from a teacher student point of view,
Right.
it's likely to turn off a lot of students. I don't think they're
Right.
going to want to then get to know it.
Right. Right. I think they
But
have to be
if they've
yeah,
got that interest, that's absolutely
I
there for them
agree.
to follow.
I agree. It's definitely probably fits more into that either high school where they're about to go to college and they're interested in engineering or computer science, or they're already in college and they're having to, you know, do something. Because it was eye-opening to me, like learning about really how the memory mapping works. That was pretty eye-opening for me. And I don't remember that when I was in high school and building mine. I'm sure it was there. It's just been so long. But that was, you know, how the ports map in, how the ROM maps in. All of that was really eye-opening for me. And then to be honest, you don't talk about it as much on the site, but I had this epiphany. I'm like looking at this stuff and I go, well, that's paging. That's how paging works, memory paging. I'm like, this is the same thing. It's just being done, you know, at this discrete level. So yeah,
Yeah,
it was a lot of fun.
I know exactly where you're coming from because I went through that whole journey at the very start of this as well, and because one of the things which I feel almost embarrassed to say, but yeah, as someone that worked in IT, I worked with 16-bit, 32-bit,
Right,
64-bit computers. I didn't have an appreciation as to exactly what that meant.
right, yes,
I just knew, yeah, bigger numbers are better.
right,
That's
exactly.
how it works. But once I start building the Z80 machine, it's like, yeah, this is, well, I put in 8 bits on the data bus to here, 8 bits to there. that's why it's an
That's
8-bit
light
computer, and
bulb.
it just all it all made sense then. And it's like, yeah, of course. Well, a 16-bit
Right.
computer can then have a single byte that counts up to that value.
Right.
And yeah, it made a lot more sense then.
It does. It actually helps a lot. And, you know, it really opens your eyes. The light bulb kind of goes off. It's really good stuff. Well,
Yeah.
well, Spencer, that's pretty much the end of my questions. Do you have anything you would like to share, like final thoughts that you have with the viewers?
Well, so thank you very much, obviously, for buying my kit and building it and choosing to share it out with the good folks on the internet. Yeah, this interview has been great. I've enjoyed it,
Good.
um, and yeah, just I do hope that people, yeah, if they take anything away from this, just enjoy yourself. Do what you enjoy doing, um,
Absolutely.
and yeah, that's the key.
Well, thank you very much, Spencer.